Okay, what's the interest in two-way radio communication? Or in fact, should you have an interest in two-way radio communication? It depends on each person's circumstances. Poor local or expensive communication that you travel in, rural home lifestyle. I could imagine for van lifers, those living on the move, it gives them the social contact, local social contact where they can meet up, and no doubt a protection benefit too. And many enjoy learning new things that hobbies can give. Electronics, whether it be ham radios, CB, electronic measuring tools, things of that sort, computers, even photography, even fishing. Solar have given skills for people for employment. When you make your own projects, DIY projects, it has an accomplishment, a satisfying feeling. You also gain skills that you can do now for yourself, not having others to do it and pay. And you're less likely to get scammed or overpaid because of being knowledgeable. You may not have the skill to fix something, but you're knowledgeable, which can be a savings. In this video, being a ham radio operator, I have some new equipment coming in. I am shopping for my HF radio. It looks like I'm going to go for the Icom 705. But before I get all that, you need antennas. And antennas can be a problem if it's not properly installed or even tuned. When an antenna is properly installed, it will improve reception and transmission. It will protect your radio from overheating, premature failure. This applies to any radio, not just ham radio. It could be CB, it could be public radio units. Though you're locked in, I think it would fix antennas in that particular case. And the frequency or the channel that you're using, most of the off-the-shelf antennas are cut in the middle of the band somewhere, but it might not be optimized for the channel or frequency that you're using. So it's nice to be able to optimize it. By doing that, you'll have the lowest standing wave ratio, or in other words, the lowest amount of power reflecting back into your radio. And cables, when you're going over 15 feet of cabling, you need to know the quality of the cable. Because the higher the frequency you operate, the higher the loss of a cable, even when new. And then cable contamination can occur. And over time, you'll be losing most of your power in the cabling and not knowing, thinking, oh, okay, it's just conditions. A crimp, for example, in a cable can be a big issue, create an impedance bump. So in this particular video, there'll probably be several parts, but I have picked up a piece of equipment that's necessary if you're working on antennas or tuning. Either an SWR meter or a vector network analyzer tool. Unfortunately, the cheap SWR meters, they sometimes introduce problems themselves, and it doesn't really tell you as much. The vector network analyzers, they're great equipment, but boy, are they expensive. $500 or more. However, recently, there has been what they call NanoVPN-H, or very small size vector network analyzers that have proven to be very accurate, a little bit more work setting up, but still worth it, because at $50 and up, it makes a big difference. You may not use this equipment as much, so why spend $500, $1,000 when a $50 unit can do? With this vector network analyzer, you will be able to not only check your standing wave ratio, so you know how much power is reflected back. You'll be able to check the cable quality, what the loss is. And when operating at different frequencies of a band, for example, ham radio operators, they have several bands that are quite wide. And the NanoVPN will give you a beautiful scale on what your resonance is, and you'll know very quickly where you need to make the adjustments on a frequency that you want to use all the time. It's important to have the resonance, because a 3 dB loss would mean you're losing 50% of your power. You will reduce reception. Yes, you can get cheap SWR meters, but they may add to the issue. But now, with these NanoVPNs being cheaper than a lot of the SWR meters, it'd be a good idea to look at one. And I'm going to demonstrate one unit that I bought and test it against my VHF antennas for now, until the HF equipment comes in. And what's nice about this NanoVPN, Nano, I guess, referring to being small size, and VNA, vector network analyzer, they measure anywhere from 50 kilohertz to 3,000 megahertz, 3 giga. So it will cover the HF, VHF, UHF, and higher. So it's nice. It doesn't matter where you operate, it will work and cover what you want to do. Okay, I'm going to set up there so we can take a closer look at this NanoVPN. Okay. The model that I got was the NanoVPN-H4 handheld vector network analyzer. Okay, I've opened this already. Took some of the packaging out. Well packaged. They give you a USB-C, I believe the USB 3 or something of that sort. Long enough. Very short USB-C to USB-C. They provided you a guitar pick for touchscreen, and touchscreen no pencil, which works much better. Regardless which model you have, these are the basic equipment or pieces that you will get. Different size screen. I may have mentioned different size battery, things of that sort. What's nice about this equipment, when you're checking for SWR reading, in the past, and anyone that uses a regular SWR meter, they need to key their transmitter to an unknown load. Usually they do it for a few seconds, because a lot of tuning is still probably required. But then you cause interference, unnecessary stress on your transmitter. With this unit, you just plug in your antenna coax, no transmitter. And then you can select the frequency range that you want to monitor or check. I'm going to use our 2 meter band, which is from 144 megahertz to 148. And what's also nice with the Smith graph, it will give you the impedance and how it varies across the band. You want to get 50 ohms, and of course you want to have a standing wave ratio of 1.5 or less usually. One thing you have to be careful of, apparently some of the clones, what they're doing, instead of using more expensive parts like the ADF 4350 or the AD 8342, which are costly, and the clones, some of the clones have been cutting costs by using salvaged or rejected parts. So, used parts, rejected parts. Wonder where all the honesty went, huh? So, I would kind of look and see who is selling those units, check their website, look for comments. I know there was one site where this is a clone, don't buy. A bad clone. Okay. There is probably a couple parts you need to buy. These are SMA connectors. And most antennas will either have a BNC connector or UHF connectors, such as this. Okay, so I have an adapter. Yeah. So you can. So there's you can buy a whole bunch of these. I don't know, $10, $12 for all of them. Here's a BNC. I guess I should show this underneath the camera. I'm looking at my hand, realizing I'm not in the camera range. I guess doing videos, it's not used to. I'm used to taking pictures. I'm a photographer. Not into videos yet. Okay, so that might be a cost, another $10 to $14, depending on the deal, so that you can directly connect the antennas to these ports, because every time you add an extra length into it, you can throw off the readings a little bit. Okay, so there you go. Now, I will take it out of the box. Okay, I'm impressed with this unit. It met my expectation, and I get the information that I want to get. And it's nice that I don't have to be transmitting. I can just set it up, calibrate it, leave it. I can move around, try different ground planes. It's interesting, when I switch from a thin cookie tray to that of a cast iron cookie tray, it made a noticeable improvement. And when I put it on the concrete floor with that same unit, it even improved it. So it tells me that a Faraday blanket might be nice to have if you're using it indoor, because then I can give it the adequate ground planes or counterpoise that it needs. And it will give the whole band a better resonance. So I'm sure the $50 one will work just as good. You just get a few accessories, you get a smaller, larger screen. For me, I needed a larger screen and I wanted a case. So hopefully, if you find that you have a need, well, here's an option. When HF equipment comes in, I will definitely will be needing this quite a bit. especially when you're always portable. If you have any questions on this, feel free to leave in the comments, and I'll get back to it as quick as I can. And if there is further interest, I can go into more details and actually carry out this test. I didn't want to record too much of it because I was in a learning curve myself, and I know I'll be bad enough doing videos the way I am now, worse when I have to be learning something at the same time. Have a nice day. Keep in touch. Thank you.